Okay, I know if you do a crafting video, you're supposed to start when you start the project, but let's just say a minute ago, I was having a little moment where I was like, this isn't gonna work, I'm a failure. So I didn't want to film then, but now, for some reason, even though it's only been, I don't know, like 3 minutes or something, I'm like, this is awesome. Oh gosh, show it to everybody. So, I'm making a dress out of Power Rangers sheets. I'm using the top of this jumpsuit as a pattern, which is honestly psychotic because it has like multiple layers and different elastic bits and a collar. Here's some pictures of me wearing it. It's a cute top, but I mean, it's going so good. So here's the pattern that I made. I have an old spool of newsprint that I got from my local newspaper that I used to make patterns from my clothing. So I got the back and then both of the front pieces. And here's me trying to figure out how you sew two things together and still have a pocket to put elastic in so that the middle has elastic. This is my plan. I did so much planning before I started doing this. Like, you know how people say to make something out of scrap fabric first, not use the actual fabric for the first version that you make? All right, I know it doesn't look like much, but this is the beginning of the half backless vest top. I already put some elastic in there and thought about like the seam and that the elastic was gonna need to be in the seam. And like I hemmed the fabric before I sewed the seam. I don't know how I haven't messed up a seam yet, or maybe I already have and I'm gonna find the seam that I messed up later. It's so cute, it looks like a real vest. It's a cutesy coat on it. Now I'm gonna make a circle skirt and I'm gonna use this dress as the pattern because it's one of my favorite dresses. And I don't know why I always make circle skirts because they're like so much harder. I love them so much. And I'm gonna use the top sheet fabric. The top sheet has this cute little red banner along it that I'm totally gonna make like the bottom of the skirt. I'm so excited about it. So here's me using my newsprint and that circle skirt to create my own sewing pattern, which is a great thing that you can actually do and is really helpful if you do it correctly, not the way that I'm doing it. I have made a circle skirt like that before, but then I realized it'd be much easier if I did a half and then fold the fabric in half when I cut it. Right? You're like, I don't know, James. You crazy. Okay, I realized I had to take my half, fold it in half, making it quarters, fold it into quarters, making it eighths, because if I want the red part to line up or actually be along the whole bottom, the pieces that I'm cutting out have to be small enough. Because if it's like this, you know, it's gonna come off on the edge. And I'm gonna eyeball all of that because I'm insane. It's gonna be totally fine. Fudgies. Fudge knuckles. Of Fudgerington fudge knuckles. I really need to make this one piece. Hold on. So I needed a new skirt piece pattern that had seam allowance and was a little bit longer, and I need 8 of those. I don't think that I should be using fabric scissors on paper. I think it's just generally, like, bad for the scissors. They serve a higher purpose, you know? They don't need to be doing this layman's work. Kids, don't be like your Auntie James. Learn how to sew and do a good job. Okay, in order to make this line up with this seam, I am going to make the bottom of each thing flat. And then the skirt will have kind of like an octagon shape at the bottom seam, which is fine because that will probably be cool. Welcome back to the school of totally fucking winging it. Yeah, if you're actually good at sewing and you're watching this, you're probably like crying right now. I'm gonna be able to get 8 of them out of this, probably not. If it's 6 and then 2 that don't have red on them, should I just like sew just some red fabric so that it matches, I guess. Okay, I can do this. Confidence. It's a confidence thing. Okay, I have 8 of these with the little trim on them, but I was only able to cut out 6 that had this red bit on them, so I cut 2 out of the blue and added red t-shirt on them. I have never made anything without seam ripping at least one part of it. Look, it's my least favorite thing to do in the world. It is now midnight. I can't stop because it's coming together. I just gotta sew these pieces together, sew it to the top, add the elastic band in the waist, and then do the next strap. And probably put some pockets on it. I have successfully made a circle skirt that needs elastic in it, and I have successfully made a top. I had to add little extensions for the front because I didn't make it big enough. But this is the part I've never achieved in the past, is put those two things together and have it line up in any sort of reasonable human fashion. Okay, so I have successfully attached the bottom to the top, which honestly is a first for me. Now I just need to fix everything that is wrong with it. For instance, it needs elastic in the center, needs the strap in the back, and I am going to attach this to the next strap to hold it up because it keeps like sinking down to there. But it's going okay. In my heart, I left enough seam allowance to fold the seam over and then feed elastic through, but in reality, I definitely didn't, and I didn't want to take any more length away from the skirt because it's already somehow like 3 inches shorter than it was. In my heart, in my mind, I don't know. But I'm just currently sewing this sheet to the interior seam where the skirt meets the top bit so that I can then create an extra length to fold over and feed elastic through. It's beautiful. God. It's done. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. Is it perfect? No. Am I happy that I made it? Yes. Here's the final look. Now I can assume that you can infer from context that this is not that dress. What you can't infer from context is that it is 2 months later. What is this, you may ask? A pair of Time Force overalls I made in order to procrastinate on finishing the dress. I did finish the dress. I did wear it the next day. This is the final look. Here's the problem. I hate the top, and the idea of seam ripping the entire waistline and making a new top gave me so much procrastination energy that I made this instead. Okay, I'll show you what the top looks like and I'll tell you why I hate it. So, in case anyone was wondering, this is what 2 months of hair growth looks like. But, so the skirt is kind of cute, right? But I think the gray doesn't match the blue, which is weird because it's a top sheet and a bottom sheet, but they just don't really complement each other as a dress. And then there's, I don't like the fit of this. I think with this type of fabric, it's not really working. Like maybe with a stretchy fabric, this would be cute. But I don't know. I want to do something that looks cuter and is more fun to wear. Okay, so I did cut the skirt off instead of seam ripping it at the elastic because it was just better than seam ripping this absolute trash fire disaster. And it was already a little shorter than I wanted, so I'm gonna add extensions. So I've traced out on my newsprint the shape that I want, and I'm gonna cut out 2 of these from my base fabric and add them to the skirt. I've never sewn anything that I didn't have to seam rip. There's the skirt with the extension. I'm probably just going to use like that much of it. Now I've cut out a pattern for a top. I'm trying to make it really big because this fabric is not stretchy at all. I don't want no scrub. Scrub is the kind that can't get no love from me. Yeah, it looks like scrubs, but respect the process. We're going to get there. I had to listen to this song. The core principle of dress has been achieved. However, the principle of I don't look like I'm wearing a pillowcase has not been achieved. So we're going to keep trying. Time to rescue my elastic from the previous top and sew it to the new seam, this time by stretching it, not by putting it through a pocket. Okay, I think I'm done. The elastic does really help. I would like to add one of these Dino Charge logos up here somewhere to bring more red into the top of it, but I don't have any more because I used them all for the skirt. And yes, I do look a little bit like I escaped from a local asylum, but you have to keep in mind styling can do a lot. So, you know, if I just put a vest on it, then it's way cuter. Put some red on top to bring all the color palette together and, you know, I look like a little dinosaur train conductor. I'm happy with it. Hopefully, you learned what not to do while sewing by watching this video. It was a good learning experience for me. I will likely never make another process video again because, frankly, I should be embarrassed that this is on the internet. I'm not, but I should be. Okay, bye.